Welcome to Kinesiology 4903. This week's mini lecture is on the muscular system. The muscular system is responsible for the movement of the human body. There are three types of muscle tissue: visceral, cardiac, and skeletal. Visceral muscle is found inside the organs, for example, the stomach, intestines, and blood vessels. The term smooth muscle is often used to describe visceral muscle because it has a very smooth, uniform appearance when viewed under a microscope. Cardiac muscle is found only in the heart. Cardiac muscle is responsible for pumping blood throughout the body. It is an involuntary muscle. Skeletal muscle is the only voluntary muscle tissue in the human body. It is controlled consciously. Every physical action that a person consciously performs, for example, speaking, walking, or writing, requires skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle fibers can be divided into two types based on how they produce and use energy: type 1 and type 2. Type 1 fibers are very slow and deliberate in their contractions. They are very resistant to fatigue. Type 1 fibers are found in muscles throughout the body for stamina and posture. Type 2 fibers are broken down into two subgroups, type 2A and type 2B. Type 2A fibers are faster and stronger than type 1 fibers, but do not have as much endurance. Type 2A fibers are found in the legs, where they work to support your body throughout a long day of walking and standing. Type 2B fibers are even faster and stronger than type A, but have even less endurance. Type 2B fibers are found particularly in the upper body, where they give speed and strength to the arms. Humans have over 700 muscles. Some of the major muscles of the body will be covered. We have upper body muscles. The bicep. It's a two-headed muscle that lies on the upper arm between the shoulder and the elbow. The origin is the scapula. Insertion is at the radius, and the innervation is the musculaneous nerve. Trapezius, a pair of large triangular muscles extending over the back of the neck and shoulders and moving the head and shoulder blade. The origin is the skull, spinous processes. Insertion is the scapula, clavicle, and the innervation is the accessory nerve. Deltoid, muscle forming the rounded portion of the shoulder. The origin is the scapula, insertion is the humerus, and the innervation is the axillary nerve. Tricep. It's a large muscle at the back of the upper arm. The origin is the scapula and humerus, insertion is the ulna, and the innervation is the radial nerve. Now we have our lower body muscles. The hamstring are the muscles on the back of a person's knee. The origin of the pelvis and femur, insertion tibia and fibula, and the innervation is the sciatic nerve. Quadriceps are a large muscle group that includes the four muscles on the front of the thigh. The origin are the pelvis and femur, insertion patella and tibia, and the innervation is the femoral nerve. Gastrocnemius, muscle on the back part of the lower leg. Origin is the femur, insertion is the calcaneus, and the innervation is the tibial nerve. Gluteus maximus, muscles on each buttocks that move the thigh. The origin is the pelvis, insertion is the femur, and the innervation is the inferior gluteal nerve. And finally, we have the core muscles. Rectus abdominis, also known as abdominals or abs, are muscles running vertically on each side of the human abdomen. The origin is the pelvis, insertion are the ribs and sternum, and the innervation are the intercostal nerves. Transverse abdominals. These are the innermost of the flat muscles of the abdomen. They originate in the ribs, pelvis. The insertion is the linea alba, and the innervation are the intercostal nerves. Obliques, the outermost muscles of the abdomen. The origin of the ribs and pelvis, the insertion are the ribs and pelvis, and the innervation are the intercostal nerves.